shining light for the next generation. They are the ones who lead us to the places we've never dreamed of, undiscovered country, goals only to imagine. Right. So kick back and relax. Prepare yourself for several hours of fun, friendship, fascinating conversation, and fabulous music. Speaking of radio, you're listening to the most popular radio station in the history of broadcast radio from the station Curious Times. Your host, Curious Listener, here she is.
Hey, everybody. Yes, hold your applause, please. Welcome to Curious Times. It's Thursday. I was about to say Friday. I'm all messed up, discombobulated. And it is the 12th of July. Selva's here tonight in place of tomorrow night. So we did the old switcheroony, and I didn't realize until just a little while ago that for some reason, I thought that I had rescheduled it on the IntuiTalks site, and I went to look, and it wasn't. So I had to do some quick footwork and get that done. And so that is all done. And so let's just see what the heck we think is coming up at Curious Times, because we never even know anymore. So tomorrow and Saturday we're off. Sunday is Amy, Monday is Diana, Tuesday is Lisa Nolan Shalosky. That's what's going to happen, we think. We go through these, it almost seems like as soon as one person can't, then all of a sudden it goes into a string of 2 or 3, you know what I mean? That suddenly we have Houston, we have a problem. So anyway, that's what we think is going to happen, and very good news that since we last spoke, very good news that the boys in Thailand were all rescued and the coach, and really just tragic that the one Navy SEAL fella died earlier on in the rescue mission, and so that's really a damn shame. But it was, I don't know, very going to be possible that those guys would be stuck for another couple of months, and then who knows, because the oxygen levels were really starting to become a problem there for them. So anyway, all the prayers were answered, and everybody's good. Did you notice that one of those guys, one or two of the boys' families, they're like, to honor like the Buddhists, they're going to like send take their soccer star boy and send him to Buddha camp for a couple of years or something now. I guess they're sacrificing their son to Buddha, and he's gonna go and be grateful, and maybe one day in the future. But isn't it funny, because the coach had previously been like, I guess a monk, eh? And isn't it funny that he probably contributed a great deal to them, you know, getting through that this way, because he had them meditating and all of that kind of thing. And we know that through meditation we can regulate our breathing. We can do all kinds of amazing things when we are in tune with our body. We can control our temperature. We could drop our temperature. We could do all kinds of things. And so there's a good chance that had a lot to do with, you know, with the outcome there for all the boys. Plus, he was giving up his food and everything like this for the kids, which I think any adult would. But maybe I shouldn't say that. I don't really think Donald Trump would give up his KFC to help a kid. I just don't think he would. You know, like, he strikes me as the kind of guy that in a life and death situation, like, he would push the other person off the raft. You know what I mean? And he would, like, like kill everybody to save himself, you know. So anyway, that's just a guess. And anyway, so Selva's here. She's a life translator, and so she can, you know, she does this all in a way that is intended to help people understand the journey that they're on. She's been communicating with spirit since she was like just 4 years old, and unfortunately, her home team, Uruguay, lost. You know, and I was rooting for them the whole way, all the way, and but they did very well. They did very, very well in the World Cup, and nothing to be ashamed of there. She is from Uruguay and lives in Australia right now with 6,423 grandchildren, I think, something like that, give or take a couple. I don't know where they all are. I don't know if any of them are even in Australia, but anyway, some of them are at least. Mediumship is something Selva can do, but she doesn't go like hunting down a specific crossed over person for you. So if she's giving you a reading, then she will pass along anything that she's receiving, but she's not going to go intentionally knocking on doors for you. And she reads tarot. She's just as psychic, uses all kinds of different modalities to do what she does. And also on top of it, one of the most interesting things was that she considers palmistry to be a bit of a hobby, although she's pretty darn good at it. She does workshops for people in as convenient and affordable of a way as she can, so that, you know, this is accessible to many people, not just those that have $100 bills falling out of their pockets all day long. And she has even taken people on spiritual journeys, let's say, or trips, tours, however you want to put that. You can find Selva on Facebook at selva.nix, or just Google her, for crying out loud. And let's go find out how is Selva. Hi, Selva. Selva, wait, didn't work. Selva, hello, Selva. Hello, I don't hear you. I do not hear you. Can anybody else hear Selva? I think your mic is muted. Or it's not. Uh-oh. Houston, we have a problem. Try to unplug and replug. I do not read lips. Okay. So let's see what happens now. Are you there? Okay. Maybe refresh. It's funny, she could hear me, but she couldn't. I could not hear her. I could not hear you. Okay, so we're gonna go Selva Dutton, take 2, action. And I see Jay waiting there in the telephone line, hanging on the telephone. And Brian, hi Brian. So how's it going? Precious. Now you got me thinking of the Lord of the Rings. Precious. And and so anyhow, now let's see, Selva, can we hear you now?
Oh, you can.
Yes, we can. Yes, for
can
heaven's
you
sake.
hear me now?
I can hear you.
Oh God, that's funny.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So,
your precious
okay.
was timely. Yeah.
Everything's timely. Everything's timely.
Yeah, it is.
So, what's going on? How's things? How's Selva?
Well, it's the school holidays here in Australia, so I've got my 11,000 grandkids around.
Oh, yeah.
They're out in the back room watching TV and whatever. You know, it's been a madhouse.
Yeah,
it's been a madhouse. And I was saying to my husband last night, I've actually only got 5 of them here. And I was saying to my husband, I said, I forgot how much bloody work kids are. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
I've forgotten shit. You know, like, you got to feed them. You got to run after them. You got to, Jesus, you know, and they're incredible. But they're good kids, thank God. You know, and of course, last night we had dance practice on Thursday nights, which is your Thursday. I mean, your
Yeah.
Thursday
My
morning.
Wednesday. Yeah.
Yeah, and my other girlfriends in the team, they all got about 10,000 grandkids themselves, and they all got their grandkids. So I had 22 kids
Oh my
and
God.
six
No.
and 6 adults here. You know?
Oh my God.
So we set up a movie on my lounge near the fire. I put the movie on, get popcorn on, and just chuck the kids in there and say, "Don't come to the front room. We're playing darts." You know. So yeah, that was it.
It would
That
be a
was it. You
damn
know.
shame if one of you had a dart stuck in your head because you came out of your room.
Yeah, it was so funny, but it was good. It's good. It's really good. I mean, I love school holidays. Even when my kids were little, all jokes aside, I used to love school holidays. You know, there's none of this. You got to be at school at 8 o'clock, and you got to pick them up, and you got to do this. You got to pack lunch. You got to say, and I said, nah, it's so good. You can just chill and do whatever. Go for a walk down the park, and go Pokemoning all day with them, and just it's just I just love it. So it's been really good. And of course, I've trained them well. They're all soccer fanatics, so they've been watching the World Cup with me.
Oh,
So
good,
it's been good. It's been good. No, it's been good. Yeah.
Yeah. So who do you think? Who do you think that Croatia will do an upset or?
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so. I would love Croatia to win. I was so happy when the Poms lost. I was just so happy. That just really made my day. I didn't want the Poms to win. I didn't want the Poms to win. No. So it was good. I'm really, really glad. So I'm supporting Croatia because that's a small nation. Yeah. And it's actually, I'm shocked, actually. I'm really surprised they actually did it. But, sorry, Brian. I know you're an Englishman, but, you got to give the smaller country a go. You English people have had enough chance at it. So I'm still going for the small nation. Yeah. I think it'd be really nice to see a smaller country coming out in top. But it's good. It's good. So I haven't been doing a lot of spiritual stuff lately the last 2 weeks because I've just been concentrating on grandma duties.
Yeah.
And visiting my mum with all the grandkids as well. They don't appreciate it at the hospital when you rock up with, 8 or 9 kids. But, the oldies love it. The oldies love it. The oldies really love it. They really enjoy having the kids around, and it's actually really, really good, So I do a lot of art with my kids, actually. One thing I have been doing, meditate with all my grandchildren, all of them. And we always meditate and do art straight after. I just trying to think one of the paintings that I did so I can show you. Okay.
I think the mothership is trying to communicate with us. Go ahead.
Yeah. This is just one of the one of the couple ones that they've done.
Hang on. Hang on. I got to try and get my computer's freezing up on me here. I'm going to try and put the video cameras so they're bigger so that people can see it. How can I do this? Okay. I'm going to give you guys so there, you guys, now they can see that. Okay.
So that's one.
Yeah.
It's just like, I know it if you look into it, you can see like an angel there.
Well,
it's like
I could see a face up in the what's my upper left?
The other over here. Yeah. There is. It's quite pronounced, and it's actually
and then on the other side, across from that face, is like an alien face. And,
yeah. This cut over here.
And then down below where you are is almost like a snake, but an oversized snake head compared to the rest of the body coming out of the white mist. You know what I mean? And
yeah. I got it. Yeah. But there's also another face here. There.
Yeah, right there.
That's quite interesting. And here's another one. I particularly like this one.
Because of the colors.
You can actually, it's just the colors, but also the energy in it, and that face here really gets me. As you look into it deep, just really.
So who's doing these?
Pronounced. This is just my grandkids, my average
Put
everyday
that one back.
grandkids.
So are they deliberately putting those faces in there, or what? Like, how the heck
No,
are they?
no.
No,
This is
'cause
all
put
finger
that.
painting.
Okay, now, so that's wow. Like, 'cause there's right over. Like, here's this one with the really long nose up on your left side.
Yep.
And then right in the middle with the red shirt on and the purple hair or whatever right in the middle. Then there's like a little girl with a grass skirt or something, a green on that side. Yeah. Oh man, that's amazing. Yeah. That's amazing.
And it's all finger painting after a meditation.
Wow.
And there's this one here. This one is the grandchild that actually did this one is going through a bit of the parents are going through a marital challenge and that, and you can actually see the difference. Mm-hmm. Happy child.
Yeah.
Home hardship.
Yeah.
It speaks to it. It really speaks to that. So I don't like to pride on my grandchildren's life and my children's life, of course. So I use art as a method that I can sort of sneak up on them. Crafty, I know. But I can sneak up on them and actually see where they're at. And if I can help them, I'll help them. And we do meditations. Like when I see the artwork, then I see what type of meditations we need to do with them.
So I need to interrupt and ask you guys, were you on all Radio View? I got to put you back in the chat area. Like, was it called Radio View for you guys? Radio View? Is that what you guys are usually on? Somebody answer me in the chat room, please. Diane, anybody, somebody. Okay, I'll give you guys Radio View, and you can tell me if that's the one that you've had. Is that what you had before? Okay, thank you. Okay, so that's what that looks like, eh?
Yeah.
Remote, okay, radio. Remote radio?
Yeah.
No, there is no remote radio. There's Radio View. Okay.
I have remote radio.
Oh?
Yeah.
How come?
It says remote radio view.
I don't have that option.
Oh, well, we're better.
Must be because I'm the host or something.
Yeah, me and Michael are special, and Diane.
I can't. Is that what it says for? Is that what it says for you guys right now? Remote view, or does it say just Radio View for you guys right now?
It says remote on brackets and Radio View.
All right, very good. We'll be happy with that then, and we'll leave it there.
So I've done the spiritual aspect of it. That's all I've been doing. Just a bit of art with my grandkids and see where they're at. And it's I find that's a good way of sort of helping them without intruding and, putting my nose where it's not welcome,
Yeah.
Because, every mother got to learn their place. There are times that you just got to step back. Yeah. So that's what I've been doing, and of course with mum so ill as well, I've been concentrating on her. And for the first time ever, I mean, my mum is religious. She's very religious. She's not a spiritualist. Mm-hmm. She's religious. She's she belongs to the Church of Jesus Christ of the Latter-day Saints.
Oh yeah.
So she's a Mormon.
Yeah.
So I grew up with a lot of Mormon influence, and that for the first time ever, she actually asked me to meditate the other day.
Oh wow.
And we were just about to meditate, and the missionaries came in, the elders, and I just said to them, I said, look, me and Mum are just going to do a meditation. And they go, okay, that sounds cool. Can we join in? And they go, yeah, sure. And I'm so glad they actually came in at that time, because I don't know what Mum thought. I don't know whether she thought the meditation was evil or what it was. But since they join in now, she says she started meditating once a day, which is really good. And it has helped her with her pain management a lot.
Right. Yeah.
So I was really glad. That's one good thing. That's one really good thing, But my mum has always been I say, Mum, I'm going to meditate. And she disappears like a lizard, like you don't see her for dust.
Yeah.
But she asked me, then the missionaries rocked up and they go, oh, can we join in it? And I go, yeah, sure you can.
Awesome. That's good.
So it was good. It's really good.
got to. This is the part of the problem with the world is like everybody has an idea of what something is, and so whenever we can have a moment to either understand somebody else's culture or religion or whatever, and they take time to understand ours, we all find out that we're pretty much talking all about the same thing, but we're just using different terminology, and there's nothing wrong with that,
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So it's been really good. That's been really good. So it's something new I can share.
Perfect.
With Mum,
Beautiful.
which I'm glad because got to try and make her as comfortable as possible, and
right.
that seems to be working. So I'm really happy about that.
Awesome. Good news. That's
so
good.
Yeah.
Nice. So what else?
So I've got a question. I've got a question for you. What was decided about the changes you were going to make? Did you make a decision, or is still on progress?
No, you were the only one that voted for radio.
Okay, cool. I'm happy with that.
So we're gonna kind of keep it the way it is, and so there
that
should
works
be
for me.
Yeah, there should be no real noticeable change for you, really. You know what I mean? And
okay.
Everything will be good. Everything will be good. The change that I've made, though, is that because of all that process, I've come to find a different way to share my music, and this means I can eliminate all the hassles that I had with the voice meter mixer, virtual mixer, and so I'm happy with that. Actually, I think that everything's better on my end because of that. So that's good. That's good, and it's less complicated. It was like I said, it was starting to get where for the longest time it was fine, but then all of a sudden a series of Microsoft updates, and every time it was killing my sound settings and deleting this and resetting that, and it was like a nightmare to go back through and try and find out what got changed and fix it. You know what I mean? And so this way I don't have the complication of all of that anymore to deal with. So that's good. Good for me. And as long as Chris as long as Chris is happy, everybody else gets to be happy.
That's it. Gotta keep Mama Bear happy.
And so that's the good side of it. So yeah, you're winding down into fall, and actually spring. Wait, you're in winter now, and so you're in winter now.
Winter, right in the middle of winter. Yeah, and it's actually it hasn't been a cold winter at all. I mean, I'll show you. I'll open the door just to show what it's like outside. It feels like bloody spring.
Uh-huh.
See that? Sunny.
Well, we only well, I mean, it's really sunny here in the wintertime too. It's only just that it's minus 35 effing degrees.
Anybody would think we're in the middle of spring.
Well, like I was just saying, when it's winter here, we still, like where I live in Alberta, is like we get about 320 days a year on average where we have the sun shining. So in the wintertime, it's a lot of sunshine. It's just minus 35 degrees is all, And so the thing is that how that change, that makes things more bearable though when you can see blue sky and sunshine. You know what I mean? Like I found out when I went to England, like how depressing and gloomy. I just couldn't bear it. You know what I mean? Hardly seeing blue sky, and I was over there way back then actually contemplating moving there and purchasing a shop, and because I had a friend there and the shop next to her shop was up for sale, and I was thinking, I wonder. And so I went for a visit, and by day 3, I'm all like, I so cannot live here. There is no way I can live here. And, well, in Australia, the problem is that your bugs are big enough to have to put saddles on, so there's no way I could live there either. You know what I mean? Like, I can't. I just couldn't cope. I would not be able to cope. The Australian people, awesome. I would very much get along, I'm sure, very well with the Australian people. This isn't, I've done very well with any Australian people that have come over here. But the problem is, the bugs. I could not deal with that. I could not. It's not possible. I see a little spider like this and I get the heebie-jeebies. Like, there isn't any way at all I could do it. I had a friend in Texas.
If you leave them alone, they'll leave you alone anyway.
No, if I have to see them, then that's not called leaving me alone, because it's now, you cannot unsee stuff, you know what I mean? And I'll show you, so I have a friend in Texas, and I'm telling a different story. Everybody thinks I'm going to tell the scorpion story, but I'm not. Now, I don't know if I can find this picture very easily, but I'm going to show you guys something. Let's go, and we're just going to have to go into the pictures, and hopefully we can find it. I might have to, I'm going to cancel it there and search for it in the old-fashioned way. Okay, and hopefully it comes up. No. Okay, how can I, darn. So okay, I guess I can't find it quick enough. If I get a song break or something, I might do a better effort at looking it up. But I'll just tell you. So this friend in Texas, she has this garage, you know what I mean, and that's fine. So she's telling me the story about how she has a raccoon now in the garage. And so she was going to say, and I'll send you a picture of the raccoon. And so she sends me this picture. And so there's way up in the top of the picture is this, a little bit of the raccoon or something. But in the main part of the picture, there's this hand-sized effing spider. And I go, so I'm talking to her and on the phone, and I'm like, oh my God, what the spider's bigger than the effing raccoon, what the heck, And she's all like, what spider? And I lost my mind, and I said, what do you mean, what spider? I said, Vicky, first you had 3 opportunities to see that spider, at least. First, when you took the picture, 4, in real life, when you were there in the room, in the garage. Number 2, when you took the picture, you were clearly looking in the vicinity, because the camera caught it. Third, when you downloaded it from your camera onto your computer. 4, when you uploaded it to send it to me. And I go, you did not see the spider. How could you not see the spider? The spider is big as a house. So she goes and looks at, and so I cannot, understand how and I wish, when I do a song, I'll try my hardest to see if I can find that picture.
It was probably a tiny little dot of a spider.
No, that's why I have in the past put this picture up, and so I know that it's somewhere in my computer. Let me just so anyhow, it's I'm not oversensitive to it, but I'm all like, how can somebody not notice this spider? It's impossible. And so, okay, it's not there. So now I'm going to do one other quick thing and go, this can, check on my external drive. And hope. Okay, all files. Maybe that was my problem. It's not finding, okay. Dang. Okay. Well, anyway.
Maybe the spider's gone shopping.
No, it's there because now I'm on it. Now I cannot now I won't be able to rest and relax until I can get the picture. And so I'm gonna get the picture. You better believe I'm gonna get this picture. Even if I have to go to my email from 5 years ago to get the freaking thing. So pictures. Okay.
Just about every Australian has got a wolfman spider as a pet near the back door. They're good. They eat all the flies and they eat the mosquitoes, and they don't bother anybody. They just stay up there in the corner and they come out at night, But my brother, true story, he lived out in a farm and he had about 3 or 4 of them out in his back wall of the farm. And in the morning, we'll get up and he had an outhouse. You know what an outhouse is, right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yes,
he had an outhouse. And in the morning, you had to get up, go through the back door to get in the outhouse. But in the nighttime, the spiders used to make all this web right across the back door. So you had to walk through the web to get through the thing, And I had my late husband, Brett, he's petrified. He was petrified of spiders just like you were, and we never said anything. We said nothing at all, And when I got up in the morning to go to the toilet, I actually walked right around the house. So I didn't ruin the web. I wanted Brett to walk through it. Oh, man, I never seen anybody shit themselves as much as I saw him when he walked through that web. It was so funny because it was weird. You open the door, you couldn't really see the web until you actually touched it, And he walked through it. I've never heard a man squeal so much like I heard him squeal. I tell you, it was like a pig in pain. It was so funny. It's just the funniest thing ever. I wish I had live Facebook in those days or something to film it. That would have been so funny, or funniest home video or something like that. That was hilarious. But yeah, it's me and my brother. We had a bit of a chuckle on that. That was really good. Yeah. But they don't worry me. I
had a time when I would go out to work every morning and I would have my briefcase in one hand. I never went anywhere without this mug. You know what I mean? So I got this full of coffee. I got that, and maybe I have a cigarette on the go. I got my keys right. So I'm and all trying to get out the door and close and lock the door and everything like this, and then walk. And on my doorstep, my front door here is sort of one pole, one wooden square pole here and one wooden square pole there, and then on the side here is this lattice fence thing, enclosure, I guess, or whatever, and then just my steps down and then straight to my vehicle. And so every day I'd go and I would walk through there, and then I'd get this web in my face, and it pleased me every day to have that happen. So finally, and it's not, and I wouldn't every morning. It was it never happened to me again until it happened to me. You know what I mean? And so I consciously said, all right, you guys, you work all freaking night, all day and all night to rebuild your house, and every morning I walk through and break it. Why do you not just move your house over to that side, and then it will never be disturbed and everything will be fine? And never again did I walk through a web on my front doorstep. And that's a true story.
Wow.
That's a true story. So I just move your house, because I hate, don't want to, can we have an understanding here? Okay.
That must be.
Go ahead.
That must be a Canadian thing, Because when I was in Brazil, there was this Canadian guy. We were at the Casa Don Ignacio. We visited John of God, and there was this guy. There was this spiders next to his dorm where he used to sleep. And he actually stood in front of the dorm. True story. And he sat there and he looked at them and said, "Okay, spider, I know the world is big enough for the two of us, but I do not wish to have you next to my door. Because I just don't like you. I'm sorry, nothing personal. I just don't like your species. So I would prefer for you to to move down the road. So I'm going to go for a walk. I'm going to go for a walk and I'm going to come back and hopefully you won't be there when I return. You know?
Yeah.
Anyway, sure enough, he went for a walk and he came back. The spider was gone. 2-3 days later, I asked him, I said, hey, George, what happened with the spider? He said, it hasn't been back. I told you to work. I said, oh, my God, that's pretty cool. You know, and he was Canadian too. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's from Toronto. Yeah.
Well, so there you go. Just got to talk to them. You know, I try to say to them here, you know, okay, look, I know that you spiders are in my house somewhere. And and you're welcome to stay, but as soon as I see you, I have to, like, relocate you into the inside part of my vacuum cleaner. Okay, so as long as I don't have to see you, you have all the room in the world to move around in. But the minute I see you, you will be grounded and housed for the rest of your life inside a vacuum cleaner.
I have a dislike for cockroaches. I don't like cockroaches.
Oh,
you know,
I
don't like.
I would lose my mind. I would lose my mind.
And on the northwest of Western Australia, I think you get them in Adelaide too, Brian. You get these flying cockroaches.
Oh my God!
You know, and they're big, actually, really big. And living in a caravan park, quite often you see someone walk in and they've got a hitchhiker on the shoulder. You know, and I go, hey, you brought your pet cockroach with you. They're just everywhere up north, and they love potatoes. So everybody, cockroaches loves potatoes. So everybody up north, they keep all the potatoes in the fridge, you know, to try and make sure keep it. But I don't really care for cockroaches very much at all. You know, I'm going to be in Maui in 36 days.
Oh yeah, that time is coming, hey.
Yeah, that's awesome. I just can't wait to actually see what they got planned for me over there. I've got no idea what we're doing. No idea at all. I'm just going to rock up and I'll see what she's got planned. I'm just going to it's going to be interesting.
That'll be awesome. That'll be awesome.
Yeah, all she said is there's private sessions and some workshops and some spot to talk to a group of people. I go, yeah, okay, no worries. So it's quite interesting, you know, like I'm going really blind, you know, and I do that a lot. You know, I remember years ago, I tell a little true story. My sister was a fantastic healer. She's an amazing healer, but she's so anal. Everything's got to be organized. Everything's got to be in structure. Everything's got to be, you know, they've got to have appointments, got to have everything. Everything's got to be so perfectly in place. And I said to her one day, I said, Julia, you got to have faith. You got to really believe that Spirit will provide to you what you need. It doesn't matter where you are. It'll provide for you what you need.
Yeah.
And I said, how can I make her see that, you know? And, of course, I jump in the car and I travel all over the state, as you know, wherever I'm asked, I go. Mm-hmm. And I said, I'm going to take her on the road with me, you know. And and I said, Julia, next week I'm actually going up to Geraldton, which is about 900 k's from my house. And I said, I'll pick you up on the way, you know. Yeah. So I know a couple of people in Geraldton, so I was able to organise 1 or 2 appointments. But halfway up to Geraldton, my motor on my camper van decided to kick the bucket. So we stopped at this little town named Dongra. And I go, oh, my God, we're stuck in Dongra. I said, that's all right. I used to work from a motel around the corner. So I went to the motel around the corner. I said, hi, Jenny, how you doing? I go, yeah. So, look, I'm stuck here. Can I camp here and see if I can get some work to be able to fix the motor? And she go, sure, Selva, no worries. And I said, and I've got my sister with me. She does Chinese therapy and massage and kinesiology and all that mumbo jumbo stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And she go, yeah, sure, no worries. And so we went there, and I never said to Julia anything. I said, look, don't worry, we're going to be stuck here for a while. And she goes, God, how are we going to survive? What are we going to do now? I said, don't worry about it. Before you know it, we'll have something to do.
Yeah.
We actually been stuck there 6 weeks. We fixed the motor, and we had to stay an extra 4 weeks to do private sessions and start there, and I said to her, see, you got to learn to trust. You will always be at the right time, at the right place, at any given time for whatever it is that you're meant to be doing.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and and she was so good. We ended up traveling over 3,000 kilometers because we went all the way up to Broome, right up the top north of Western Australia. Went to Derby, Broome, got into Kununurra, which is the border between the Northern Territory and WA. And so we went all the way up there, and then we worked all the way back, and she just couldn't believe it, and then about halfway, just after Geraldton, I said, look, I've got nothing planned at all after this, which just potluck, and she said, wow, how are you going to do it? You're going to have to support me. I said, no, be fine. You'll be earning your own keep. You'll be fine. And it's amazing, and it's like, if you got to trust that you always are at the right place at the right time for whatever it may be. Mm-hmm. It may not be what you intend it to be, and sometimes we've got to suck it up a bit, but it is beautiful. It's just, you always provide it, no matter where you are.
Yep. Yep.
So,
I agree with that. Okay, let me look at this quick. So Jay is there. Brian, are you just listening? Just doing a little time check here. He's not answering. So I'm gonna let's do a song, and then we'll let you we'll let Jay talk to you, and then we'll see where we go from there. How's that?
Sounds good to me.
Okay. So let's see. What should we play? What should we play? Let's do her. This one's for Deb. Let's do this.
Before you go, I want people to think of something. Does anybody know that song, Save All Your Kisses for Me, for Brotherhood of Men?
I don't. I'd have to hear it.
If anybody can. Save all your kisses for me, save all your kisses for me. Da 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 da. I can't remember the word, but this keeps on playing on my head, and it's a male. It's got glasses. He's got glasses, and it's this little girl with golden curly hair. And every time I look at your name, Amy, it gets louder. Does that song mean anything to you at all? It was Brotherhood of Men that used to sing it. And it's called Save All Your Kisses for Me.
Okay, there we go. So we'll have her. Here, let's do this. You can stop. Hmm. Okay, well, that's not good. Okay, I'm just still trying to fix this here. Okay, there's a problem. There you go. There was an update and it really did mess things up anyway. So let's see. Okay. Now, let me just test something here. Now, is that better? Is that better? Did you hear that? No? Yeah. Was it better though? No. Oh, I see. Okay, we went. Okay. Huh. Well, so much for that then. Okay. I don't know then what to do anymore. I give up. Gonna give up. Gonna give up. Gonna give up. Give up the whole damn thing. Okay. Let's see here. I don't understand. I do not understand. Only one last thing. Check this. Jenny, delete all that, right from the song all the way up until whenever I get going properly again. If you're listening, Jenny. Thank you, Jenny. I must owe you a beer or a dozen dozens. Let's see, audio settings, speakers. That's everything's on high. It doesn't make any sense. Oh, now let me test. Let me see something. See if this makes any difference at all. Okay, here. No. Yeah. I'm so depressed. Okay. I don't understand. Don't get it. I do not get it. I cannot understand. I do not understand. Oh, okay, microphone. Okay, so No, that's the right one. Okay, I give up. Anyway, we're back. Sorry. Amy's here. Hi, Amy, Jay, Boo Boo, Brian, Christy, Dan, Diane, Marie, Michael twice, Selva, and me. So let's go get Selva back, and then we'll get Jay hooked up for you. Now I gotta change all.
Here I am.
I had all my volume cranked up, and now I'm gonna go deaf here. Hang on. Oh my God. Lord help me here. Okay. There. We'll try that. Okay. You ready to talk to Jay?
Why not?
All right. Let's give you Jay. Hi, Jay.
Hey, Chris. How's it going?
Not bad. How are you doing?
Not too bad. Not too bad.
Good.
So.
Good.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Hi, Jay.
Hey, Selva. How's it going down under? I heard your story and just listening to the wolf spiders. I find them very interesting. Very interesting.
Thanks. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and there's a lot of little changes that are happening all around you, and there's a lot of decisions you need to make, and you're gonna have to take a step back and look at things at one at a time, and try and think, okay, what is important to me right now? We'll deal with that. Everything else can wait. It's like you got to take all the pressure out and only concentrate on the priority of importance to your own understanding or direction. That means that you might upset a couple of people, but at the end of the day, they don't pay your bills, so it doesn't really matter. So concentrate on yourself and take that step back. I'm a little bit concerned about your diet. It's not that you're not eating. I don't know if you're eating the right stuff that you should be eating. I feel like a bit of a lack of magnesium and a bit of lack of iron in your body, and that your energy of your voice, it's actually very lethargic. It's a little bit low, and it's like there's not enough energy within your body within itself. It's important to drink water. Water is actually very, very important, and you need to drink water, but don't drink it cold. Try and drink it either room temperature or warm if you can, to try and flush your body out completely, because it's like your body is retaining a lot of stuff that shouldn't be retaining. So water will help you flush out your system and help you more aware of how you are within yourself. Also, your sleeping pattern are a little bit unpredictable. It does show that you're becoming tired without notice, and that's what gives me the idea that you might be lacking a bit of iron in there as well. So look at your energy levels, look at your diet very closely, and don't let expectations of others put pressure on you and the decisions that you need to make. There is some money and papers going through your fingers, so it is to do with money matters and changing and reestablishing your own security. So it's actually quite important to take that time into that space as well. There's also a happy event that's coming around for you as well around November, early November, and it's like you're in two minds about going or not going. I think you'd be a fool if you don't go, because you need to reconnect with people. It's like you've had a little bit of isolation and you need to reconnect and catch up with people on that social space as well. All right, do you have a question, young man?
Yeah, so regarding the reconnect with other people, just who would that be actually?
Well, I don't know. It's people you haven't seen for quite some time. So I don't know whether it's a reunion you're going to be invited to or something like that. But it's like you're reconnecting to people that you have not seen for quite some time.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I'll have to do some thinking about that. So, yeah, most definitely. Just you're right about the energy stuff. Like I said, I haven't talked to you for a long time. I was talking to Chris about this, but Chris, I lost my mother to cancer in April, and I lost a good friend to cancer, but on June 27th. So, it's been quite the haul so far. And you're right about the stuff what's going on with the diet, stuff like that. Just trying to keep it going. So, but my rests are okay. Sometimes I sleep really well, and sometimes I don't. But I wake up like 4 o'clock in the morning, and yeah, it's been interesting.
You only get one body per lifetime, and we need to look after it the best way possible. And it's like we must not argue with ourselves. You know, if our body doesn't feel up to something, there's a reason for it. So take time for you, Jay.
Yeah, I'm
You
doing
need,
sleeping, but
yeah.
also too, it's been a long. The funeral that I went to last week was I was there Thursday, and then Friday was a funeral, then back again and home. So it was a 3-day trip. Also, I'm going to outside of. I'm actually going traveling this weekend too. So
Cool.
Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So yeah.
That sounds good. That could be just what the doctor ordered. You know, sometimes a change of scenery refreshes ourselves completely. You know, it's amazing what it does just to be under unfamiliar surroundings, and the newness, the energy, the growth. It actually awakens up, and it gives us a better perspective in a lot of ways. Yeah.
Yeah, just
Beautiful.
yeah, so yeah, that's where it's going right now. So I'm definitely going to grief counseling stuff and grief groups. So yeah, it's just been a long haul, man. Yeah.
Well, one day at a time, sweet Jesus, they say.
Yeah.
You know, and like, what they say, Rome was not built in a day. I mean, they're still building it. So
Yeah.
give yourself time, give yourself space, and I was having a bad day the other day. Something happened, and my late husband came into my mind, and I so wish he was here. I missed him terribly, and a friend of mine said to me, "When are you going to get over this?" I said, "Hey, there's no time in grief, and you will grieve someone at different levels at different time for different reasons."
Right.
And grieving is such a unpredictable thing. You could be right for months, and then something happens and it brings it all back to you. And as long as you don't fight it, you actually acknowledge it and accept it and go with emotions and let it go through, you'll be okay. But if you try and control it because Tom, Dick, or Harry's there, you're delaying that let go, and it's like we spend so many years with someone that it takes years and years and years to really create that beautiful, peaceful ending until they become a memory. And I don't think anybody ever really completely stops grieving completely. There will always be something that will trigger something. There will always be a song or a memory or a picture or whatever it may be. It's our nature, it's our space, and we just got to count our blessings of the loved ones that we do have in our lives and the opportunity that we've had to share that moment with them. But it's always tough to accept that they're no longer here in the physical. It doesn't matter how spiritual you are, how much of understanding you are, that, your soul continues and it's there with you, but you will always miss that physical connection, that hug, that connection, that space here. And don't ever put a time limit on grief or anything. Just allow yourself to go with it when it comes and allow it to be.
Yeah. So right about that. So talking to a friend about that today actually, and or a couple of days ago, and the person didn't grieve a lot, and all of a sudden something triggered something at a lake or something like that, and the person started crying a lot. So it was really anything.
I have my mother-in-law living with me, and she's got Alzheimer's and dementia, and this is what happens when people don't allow themselves to grieve, And she's got Alzheimer's and dementia, and then the other day she was doing something. I just come back from seeing my mum, and she looked at me and she said, "I just heard my mum died." And she broke down like if it happened there and then.
Right.
But when it happened, I remember when her mum died 20 years ago, she didn't grieve. She didn't show no emotion or nothing. She didn't grieve or anything. She just kept going and go, well, she's dead. That's it. Keep going, you know. But now it hit her, you know. And that was 20 years ago. And it finally hit her now, you know. So I don't think anybody goes through life without not grieving at all. They may not want to, but if they fight it, they will get it sooner or later. And it's important. It's a process. We are human. We are human, as much as we don't like to admit it sometimes.
Yeah, that's so true. That's so true.
God bless, Jay.
Well, thank you so much again. Nice talking to you. It's always great hearing your stories and what's going on there and conversation. So thanks so much for the insight too. I'll work on the iron and magnesium. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I look forward to my Saturdays or Fridays, or Thursdays or Friday to you guys. But I look forward to it. I hate it when I do miss it, but I do look forward to it, mainly because of the conversations we do have. It is so good to have a variety of all different things, and because I never have a clue what I'm going to talk about, it makes it even more excited.
Yes, that's so true.
God bless.
Yeah, God bless. Thanks so much.
Hey, Jay, thanks.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. Thanks, Selva.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
All right.
So,
my computer is just like freezing, locking up. Press your 1 button, okay, Jay, because it's not letting me mute you. Thanks. Yeah, I'm all frozen. I'm going to refresh my page, but it won't cancel my call. Okay.
Amy, did that song mean anything to you? Are you still there?
Amy? I can't see the chat at this moment, so I can't tell if she's answering or...
Yeah, I can't see it. Oh, yeah, she said yes. She wrote down yes. I'm glad.
Good.
I'm glad.
Good.
Oh, and no, it didn't mean anything. Okay. Yes, you're here. Maybe you should listen to it, Amy, if you get a chance. Get a copy of it. Because every time I look at your name, it gets louder. And it's only doing it with you. I don't know what it is. Maybe there's a verse on the song or something. And because I'm so good at remembering words and songs, it might tell you something. I don't know. But every time I look at your name, it gets louder and louder. Just remember, it's Brotherhood of Men. Save all your kisses for me.
I'd play it, but apparently nobody can hear anything that I'm playing. So,
Yeah, you can only bear hear when you play music. It just sounds like you've got a CD player next to the computer, in which it's relaying it. Yeah.
So much for that.
No.
Okay. She said she found it, and it does sort of. Brian, are you just listening or what? The era is close to my heart of late. Okay. So it's from the right era. Is Brian just listening, or are you wanting to talk to Selva? I could see that you're still there. I mean, are you there listening, or do you want to talk to Selva is my question.
He wanted to share something earlier.
You did what to who? Yep.
Yeah, Brian wanted to share something, yeah.
So I'm like, are you just listening, or you want to talk to Selva? Yep. Okay. Oh, so is it nighttime or is it day? Yep. Okay. All right, Brian. There you go. Okay. Hey, Brian.
Hi. How are you?
Good. How are you, Brian? Nice to talk to you.
Absolutely wonderful. What a beautiful day it is in Australia. Absolutely phenomenal.
Oh, it is, isn't it? It is.
Anyway,
it is beautiful here too.
My story was quite strange because going back a long way, I mean, I'd had meetings and been touched by spirit many times. I'd not long got married, and my wife at the time, she wasn't too good with money, and nearly every week we used to get paid on Fridays, and by Wednesday night, she'd come up and say, look, I haven't got any money for tea, you know. And it went on for ages, you know, getting a bit sick. So I got my tools out, you know, being a mechanic. I had all my tools there in a big red toolbox. And of course, they were all covered in oil and Christ knows what else, because I'd been doing cars and sewing machines and everything else. Anyway, lo and behold, I thought to myself one day, right, I'll clean my tools up. Now, bear in mind, the East End of London, there was factories everywhere. And I could walk in and just say, look, I'm a sewing machine mechanic, you got any work, you know, and you'd pick up something to do and that would give you money. Anyway, I started cleaning up my tools, and all of a sudden it was on the door, you know, and I thought, who's that? I went to the door, as he spoke, can you come and do my car for me? You know, great. That was the first week, and this went on and on and on. And every time I was out of money and, you know, we were getting a bit desperate, I cleaned my tools up and bang, as you were saying, you know, spirit is there for you all of the time. All you've got to do is believe. But it's happened so many times. They've, you know, spirit saved me getting hurt and accidents and God knows what else. I'd gone into this factory and I was welding up a massive, great compressor plate, and there was no angle grinders in those days, so I was had it on a great big wheel, grindstone wheel, and I was grinding it. Anyway, all of a sudden I had 3 taps on my shoulder, and bear in mind this was a Sunday and the factory was empty. I spun around to see who it was, and the grinding wheel exploded. I spun to the left and it went over my right shoulder. So if I'd have stood there, I would have worn it right in the face. That sort of thing. But it's the belief of spirit that you think, well, it just goes beyond belief. Everything I've ever done, to be honest, you know, outside our house, it's a major highway. You know, we get trucks and cars and that going absolutely stupidly. But I guarantee now, if I was to go outside and climb in my car, coming off of my driveway, there'd be an empty gap. I just drive out and straight away, I'll think, thank you, Spirit, and drive off down the road. And as I say, it's all down to your belief system. If you believe it, it will be there. So, addendum to what Selva was saying.
Yeah, it's true. You know, I mean, my granddad used to say to me all the time that a spirit will be there for you and will not let you down ever. If you ask for help and support, he will help you. But if you don't ask, he won't interfere. But you got to ask. You got to ask. You got to be asking. You got to be grateful. You got to have gratitude and respect and dignity for everything that surrounds you, you know, including spirit. So I grew up knowing that, you know, like I'm forever doing that. And my husband now, he sometimes he just doesn't get me, you know. He calls me his crazy weird wife, you know, and because I am a bit out of the norm, I suppose, compared to his lifestyle. And I say to him, look, don't worry about it. You know, by the time we get there, everything will be sorted. Everything's fine. Because he's sort of panicking a bit about this trip to Hawaii, you know. How can we do this? So don't worry about it. You know, I've been invited, so there's a reason why I'm there. The money for the airfares just showed up, so that fell into place. So we're there, and everything's going to fall in place. And whatever it's meant to be, it will be. You know, but to him, he's packing. I tell you, he's packing. He's actually really worried about it. You know, he said, we can't really do it. I said, yes, we can. We're doing it. I've got the tickets. Oh, well, I'm going anyway. You can stay home if you like and waste your money on the tickets, but I'm going. You know, but he's really trying to teach him a lesson that, hey, you got to trust as well. You know, and I think that's what people have forgotten. But a lot of it is because, Brian, I feel modern society now, especially those that are not connected to the spiritual world like we are, that we have this beautiful privilege of being part of it. If they're not part of it, it's like they live on an instant world. You know, you want soup, you don't peel the vegetable, you just add water to it and you got soup. They live on an instant world, so they have lost the ability to see the fruition of life. Everything comes in a pack, you know, and they don't. I mean, how many people do you know they will go out and actually milk a cow and see the process of the milk coming out from the udder and how warm it is and how tasty it is, and drink it, or plant veggies and see the veggie grow. And then everything's so instant that they have lost the appreciation of the creation of life. And that's why people got to really work on that and understand that, hey, if we trust and we believe and we work with it, it will come our way. But we've got to ask as well. We must never take spirit for granted. We've got to be grateful. We've got to have gratitude. We've got to have integrity in all that we do. And
you find that people tend to put up a lot of false barriers about things. I've been doing healing all my life, ever since I was 8 years old. And you wouldn't believe, I was working in a big factory. We used to make all the toilet systems and all the bathroom accessories. Big firm, Corona it's called. Anyway, we had 64 1,000-ton machines roaring, and believe me, it was hard to even hear. Now everyone says when you're doing healing, you've got to have quiet, you've got to be this, you've got to be, and I found all my life that's a load of crap. I mean, the bloke came up to me, one of the supervisors, and he said, "Brian, can you help me?" He said, "I've got tennis elbow." He said, "Can you try and heal it for me?" So I said, "Yeah, put your arm up on the machine." So he put his arm up, and for about 2 minutes I ran my hands up and down his arm. Anyway, he came off, and I said, "Try it now, Lee," and he bent his arm, and he says, "Oh," he said, "that's marvellous." Well, about 6 months later, I said to him, "How's your arm now, Lee?" He says, "Well," I reminded him of what we'd done. "Oh, gosh," he said, "it's gone completely. He said, I've never had it back." Now, with all the people, keep on saying to you, "Oh, you've got to have quiet, you've got to be able to concentrate, you've got to be able to," that's just a load of godders. You've got to be able to be yourself and believe in what you're doing and believe in spirit. And it's so important. So, anyway.
It's like, look, I'm on your page, Brian. I'm completely on your page. And every time you and me talk, I find out more and more how much we are in the same page. It's incredible. Yeah. I mean, that happened. And I believe that, spirit is with you anywhere, whether you're in the toilet or whether you're in the lounge room. Whether you're in the middle of the wall or you're in the elevator, it doesn't matter. It's there. It's like it's your companion, and it's there. And if you're meant to work with it, you will work with it. We all have the ability to awaken and develop it if we want to. I was on a dart competition the other day. Perfect example. I never try and mix my spiritual work with dart, but we were on the finals, and this lady she tripped over the hockey. She tripped over the hockey. And her knee, she could barely walk. And I said, "Oh, shit, you can't sit it. We need you to play," And someone else in my team says, "Selva, why don't you give us some healing?" And I go, "Oh, gosh, she might tell me to piss off. I can't just go and offer it to her." I said, "Yes, you can. Go on, do it." Anyway, I was in two minds because this lady, she's always making fun of what I do anyway. Always, every chance she gets, she will have a dig at me. And I walked up to her and I said, "Hey, Mary, we got to finish this game. We got to win this game. I want to win the finals. So how about if I just work on your knee a bit so you can finish the game at least? That's all I'm doing it. I'm going to make it so you can actually finish the thing. Then you're going to have to go to the doctors tomorrow or whatever." She goes, "Oh, yeah, you're bullshit." I said, "Okay, give it a go," she goes. Anyway, I got nothing else to do anyway. So anyway, and I wanted to win the final, So actually, and we won, of course, naturally enough. So
good.
I went there and worked on it, and I worked on it, and I said, "It's your shot, Mary." And she looked at me, and she started crying. I go, "What's wrong now?" She said, "You love me." I said, "I love everybody." He said, "No, you really love me. And I'm the biggest bitch to you. And you love me." I said, "Yeah, Mary, I love you. Go and have your shot." Just for God's sake, just get up. Anyway, then she got up and she started walking. He said, I can't believe it. It's all gone.
Yeah, that's
I
it.
feel great. I feel better than what I did when I had the fall. I says, well, just have your shot. Okay, thank you. I'm glad you liked it. But it does. It doesn't matter where you are, And if you ever get a chance to go to the Casa Dom Ignacio in Brazil, that's living proof it doesn't need to be quiet, I mean, you have people playing drums, you have people singing, you have people running around, you have kids running everywhere, and a spirit just works in whatever environment it needs to work,
Exactly.
It's just there, like another thing that gets to me, Brian, is like I went to this workshop. I got invited to go and watch this workshop. I'm sure I'm not going to get invited again. I can guarantee you. And there was this particular person was teaching Reiki, and she says, you must only do these moves. You cannot alter the moves. You cannot shift the moves. This is the only moves that you do. You put your hand in your hand this way and this way only. You put your hand in the solar plex this way and this way only. She kept on saying everything she taught them, and this is the only way you do it. And I said, I got to go, because I knew I wouldn't be able to keep my mouth shut, because I'm shocking like that. So she says, why are you going, Selva? And I said, because if I stay here another 5 minutes, I'm going to contradict everything you say. So I better go. She says, what do you mean? She said, I've been doing Reiki for that, and I am a master. So I said, well, I would contradict everything. Because I tell you what, when I went to Singapore and I was working there for 20 in Singapore, one of the Singapore masters, one of the guys that you learned from actually said to me, he even agreed with me, there's no set ways. We only give you the basic movements and the basic direction. Then you need to personalize it to your own movement, your own connection with the spirit to deliver the healing to the appropriate rate.
Exactly. But how does that go about when you're doing distance healing then? I mean, because I do distance healing every day. And believe me, I've done it from here to New Zealand, to America, South Africa, all over the place. And it works even at that distance because it comes from spirit, from your brain to spirit.
That's right.
We win.
And because we don't do anything. We don't do anything. And I tell people all the time, I don't do nothing. I do jack. All I do, I'm just the postman. I'm just delivering. I'm just delivering the mail to you. You're just receiving what you need to receive, but I cannot take credit for anything that is done because I'm not doing it.
You don't want the accolades. My grandmother's family all came from Ireland. They were all gypsies in these wagons, dragged around by horses, and they were healers. And of course, they used to sell the old snake oil and all the rest of the garbage. But she taught me when I was 8, and she said, very, very important is that you never ever take money for healing. And to be honest, I've stuck to that fervently all of my life, right through. And I can honestly say, it's carried me forward further and further and further, and I would not change it for the world.
Regarding the money issue, I agreed with that to a certain degree, but
you still got to
do it all the time. I used to, and it took me a long time to learn. I had to learn this. This is probably the toughest lesson I had to learn. Is that I needed to get paid if I wanted to continue doing this because I still got to eat, I still got to pay the bills and that. And it was a little old lady, an English lady, Joy Hanby, her name is, a beautiful healer from England that lives here in Collie. She says to me one day, Selva, you need to charge, and that's why I went on. I'll just do all healings by donations. For readings, I do have a set fee, but for healings and workshops, even when I travel to Maui, I'm doing all the healings and the workshops by donations. And I just got a set fee for the readings. I'm still doing it the same over there. She said to me, while you're doing this healing, you haven't got time to go out and work. You know, so you need to do that. You need to look that this is your work. They need to appreciate that, you know. And it took me a while. I was getting a job here and there. Like I worked at camps as a cook and as a cleaner, all sorts of things. But if somebody rang me, if you were to ring me and say, Selva, I need you, I would just throw the job and go. So I was the worst person you could ever hire, the most unreliable employee you could ever have. Because if someone rang me in need, I wouldn't think twice of the job. I'd just walk away. That means nothing to me because I need to be where I need to be. And whenever I went for a job, I would always tell them this. I said, look, you know, I need this job to survive, but if someone needs my help, I will walk out.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, 100%.
You know, like once, you know, once I had to apply for the dole, which was so against my grain. I hate that, you know. And I went for the interview. You know how they see you in Social Security, right? And you sit there and you go, what kind of work you be looking for? I said, I haven't. So, you need to get a job. I said, okay, what course have you enrolled at TAFE? I go, I haven't. You know, I said, okay, what are you planning to enroll? Look, what kind of work? I said, I'm not. And they go, well, what do you do? Well, you know, I want to continue on my spiritual work. He says, how much you earn on that? I says, whatever they can give me. He said, no, you need to structure it more like a business. And I said, no, I can't. So at the end, they said, well, I'm sorry, we can't help you. You cannot receive security because you're not giving us the straight answer. I said, I'm giving you all the right answers. I'm giving you all the honest answers that I could give you. I'm not looking for work. I'm not going to charge a fee, and I'll do what I can. If they give me milk instead of money, I'll take the milk. You know, it's just the way that I work. He said, well, I'm sorry, we can't help you. So I came back home and my husband said, how'd you go? I said, oh, well, I haven't got Social Security because I'm in the too hard basket. You know, but I'm not worried about it because I know that Spirit will provide. You know, it will provide. One way or another, it will provide. It will not let me go without. You know, I'm not interested in being rich and famous or anything like that. As long as I've got a meal on the table, a roof over my head, and I'm able to do my work, that's all that matters to me. Yeah. And that's all that matters.
It is. There's nothing else. Yeah. I mean, Pauline and I are exactly the same. We just plod along on a day-to-day basis, and we love it. And everything always works out just right. And well, we thank Spirit for that every day. So, to me, it's a beautiful way to be.
It is. It is. You know. Yeah, and I believe there's a bit of an awakening happening in Adelaide. I believe there's a bit of changes happening in the spiritual movement over there. I had a phone call from one of my regular Skype readers, and they said that there seems to be more little alternative shops popping up and crystal shops and things like that. Is that true?
Yes, very, very much so. A lot of them,
good.
I mean, they're going in for selling these lamps, you know, the, what do they call them? What do they call them? Salt lamps. And they start off with salt lamps and they start adding all the trinkets and bits and pieces. And then what they do is, on the side, they'll hold sort of a teaching session, teaching spiritualism and teaching bits and pieces. A lot of the churches, well, the one particular church that we know of, it's become a business. It isn't spiritual anymore. You know, they charge outrageous figures for things, and you think, well, hang on, this is not spiritualism. Spiritualism is supposed to be where everyone can just come together. I mean, it's just purely ridiculous. But the person running it wants to be the queen bee and top of the castle and all the rest of it. Well, that's her problem. But if you could see the amount of people that go there now in comparison to when we went there 10 years ago, honestly, Selma, it's just unbelievable. But that's what they want, so continue on. Now, there's several shops started in our local vicinity, you know, and it's big business. So good luck to them.
Yeah, we have a thing called Conscious Living here in WA. Have you heard of them? Do you have them over there?
No.
Anyway, there's Conscious Living, which is supposed to be run by the Spiritist Association of Australia. And it's been running for about 25 years in WA, and they have these expos, big expos everywhere. I have never attended one ever. But for the principle that it's just too expensive to even get a stall. You know, you can't even get a stand unless you pay through the nose. And then people got to pay a huge fee through the door because of the same thing, because it's become all about money, you know. And I don't mind people charging for what they do, the spiritual work they do. But you got to understand that the people that need the most help are the people that really don't have the money. So you got to make it affordable and practical for those that truly need it.
Yeah. It's just going beyond belief in the greed that is out there, you know. And well, Pauline and I do quite well. We just plod along doing our thing. I do a few sewing machines, even though I'm retired, you know, and help people out that way. And it's beautiful. I love it, every minute of it. So. But as I say,
well, this is the best thing about it. This best thing about it, you will never retire from this.
No,
because
never, ever.
It's not a job. It's a way of life. It's a way of life. You know, this is who you are, and you could just got to walk and just be yourself. It's one of the easiest things to be, you know.
Yeah. But,
so, thanks for sharing that story with us. It was awesome. It's really good. I love talking to you, because the more I talk to you, the more I can see that we're in the same page. We're so in the same page. It's not funny.
100%, Selva. Honestly, I've thought that for years now. So, but as I say, one day either I'll get over there or you'll get over here, and we can meet up and go and have a coffee.
Yeah, you never know. Yeah, you never know.
No, that's for sure. Anyway, thank you very much. I'll clock out now and leave our Chris to do her thing.
Yeah, God bless.
Thank you. Thank you. Nice to hear from you, Brian. Okay, you too, Chris. Thank you. Thank you, Chris. Oh, by the way, Chris, you have a great show. Well, thank you, Brian. So nice of you to say that. Very good. Very nice to talk to you too, Chris. Okay, Brian. Thank you. All right. I used to say,
I love it.
Back in the old days, like when we had all the psychic junkies lined up all show long, wall to wall. And like I'd be like, hello, you know, caller, blah blah blah, or whatever. And they'd be like, let's say my guest is bite your bum, bite your own ass, man. So they like, let's say you were my guest, right? I'd go, hi, you know, caller from, you know, and usually I'd know who it was, so I'd say their name, and they'd be like, hi, Selva. I'm wondering when I had an interview, I'd be like, oh, forget about me. Don't worry about me. I'm only the asshole that pays for the damn show to be on so that you can get your damn reading. But don't bother saying hello to me.
You're wonderful, Chris. We know that.
I didn't mean you, because you said hello to me when I answered your call, at least. But these callers, like, they all, like, completely disregard me entirely. You know what I mean? It's like all they want to do is talk to the psychic, and I'm all like, I'm just the asshole that pays so that you can get free readings every night. Don't worry about saying hello to me, you know? And so anyway, that... Oh, my God.
We do appreciate you, Chris, honestly. You know, I think you're the stalwart of, you know, most of the program, to be honest. So.
Well, thank you.
We love you dearly.
Well, and that you keep putting up with all my sound problems here is very nice too. So anyway, thank you, Brian. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
So we have like 15 minutes if you got something else you want to tackle, Selva.
Well, I can't think of anything right now, top of my head. But once we start opening my mouth, you know, it just dribbles sometimes. So, life in many ways is just so different for everybody. So it's hard to gauge right now where everybody's at for one reason or another. Spiritually, I think the generation of today, it's not that it's becoming more spiritual, it's that they were more open about talking about it. That's all it is. It's like people were saying to me the other day, oh, there's lots more spiritual people around. There isn't. It's just that now they're not hiding. I don't think it has changed as much as what people think it has. It's just that we're not hiding anymore. And I think that once you start doing something, it's like when you have a baby, right? I had my very first born, I named him Troy, right? I never heard the name Troy before until I looked at the horse of Troy. You know that Greek movie? You know, the horse. I said, I'm going to name my son Troy because he's 20 weeks premature and he's got to be strong, you know, and he's got to be good. His little sister's not going to survive, but he's going to survive, and I want to give him a strong name. And I never, ever met anybody named Troy or anything there. But the minute I named him Troy, there's 2,000 little mongrels are named Troy everywhere. It's like it was everywhere. Well, it was like, shit, I've never heard this name before. And it's the same thing with spirituality. It's like the minute you actually open yourself up, you become a magnet to whatever you are. So that's what we are. I mean, we can bring to us whatever we want. As soon as we acknowledge who we are or what we need or what we want, we attract it into our lives, you know? So I don't think there's more spiritual or the more so. No, it's just that because we are aware and accepting it and ready to walk it up, we are bringing it all into our space, into our own hood of a space.
Well, it's kind of like when you're pregnant. Like, you know, I remember when I was pregnant, I never saw so many pregnant women until I got pregnant. And same with when you drive a certain kind of vehicle. You know, all of a sudden, like everyone that's like yours jumps out at you. You know what I mean? And you see them all, and so it's about, I guess, where your awareness is, because they're probably there every day, hiding in plain sight. But our own awareness isn't there, so we're not.
You got me worried there, Chris, because all I've noticed lately is pregnant women. So Christ, I hope it ain't gonna be me.
That must
Best
be
I keep my eyes closed when we go shopping now.
There must be a Freudian thing there going on or something. I don't know.
Beautiful.
But it's true. You know what I mean?
It's funny.
And, I've heard a lot of other pregnant women say the same thing, and you know, it makes sense. It's funny because I remember all the way back. It was like in elementary school still. So this would be grades 1 through 6. And teacher had, you know, mentioned to us, it was a science class, and so that we were observing. Our topic was observing. And so part of our task then was to, you know, I can't remember what the exact thing was, but it was to notice either how many signs were on the way to school or how many something, you know what I mean? And you realize, like, that you walk that same path every single day, and all these things you didn't notice before. But now that you're looking for them, there they are, you know? And so we all, and maybe when we talk about that being in the right place at the right time or something, like, it's that when that thing is happening, that's the synchronistic thing, is probably because the universe is like bringing our awareness to it for that purpose, you know. And maybe if it was a different 3 weeks ago, we wouldn't have noticed that same thing or whatever, you know. But now it's time to notice it, and so it's like when we were being taught motorcycle driving. One of the very first things they teach you is where you look is where your bike goes. So always, like, don't just be, you know, it's like, so you go where you're looking. And it was always I used to say to some of the people who focus too much on the past, That
Yeah.
if you are too busy looking behind you, you can't see what's ahead of you. And so stop looking in the past, stop looking in the rearview mirror, start looking to and look where you want to go. Look where you want to go. Don't look somewhere else.
That's
If you
it.
want to go,
Look for what you want.
yeah,
Look for what you want all the
yeah,
time. Don't be put off by other people's sayings or thoughts or anything else. All we've got to do really is be aware and believe. Everything that happens is meant to happen for a reason. Now, we can't tell what that reason is, but
yeah,
there will be a reason for it. And it goes on and on and on. So,
yeah,
sorry I
yeah.
interrupted.
No, absolutely. I agree. And
It's like
and
every
so
person we meet,
we have to show the universe that we're ready for that thing. And when people would call and say, "When am I going to move?" I'd say, "When are you going to pack?"
Who cares?
You won't move until you pack. And so I would say to some people, if you're trying to send a message to the universe that you want to move, then start packing. Pack a box. Be in the active, energy space of moving. And even if you pack a box a day, it doesn't have to be big essential things, but do take actions and steps every day towards that goal then. Because it's not just going, only way that you'll move without doing it that way is if your house gets on fire, and there's better ways to move,
Yeah, true.
You could either be the fire hydrant or the dog. Be the dog.
In Uruguay, we got a tradition. If you're trying to sell your house and stuff like that, what you do, you actually write a letter to the house of gratitude for the shelter that is giving you, for everything that is giving you, everything that is done for you, and you give the house permission to call on the new owner.
Right.
I said, I'll give you permission to call on who you need to look after you, someone that would love you and take care of you as much as I did. And we buy them a present, like we either buy a fruit tree or a rose bush, and then we plant it, and we plant that letter underneath the plant. And within 6 weeks, usually a house sells, But that's an active thing of actually giving gratitude and giving thanks and allowing yourself permission to move forward and understand that your time is up. You need to move on, and we just do that, and we do that. And in 6 weeks, house is sold. Yep, it's all gone.
Yeah.
Pack up, go, ready to go.
Yeah.
Because we believe that where we live has a feeling and emotions as well. Our houses do have feelings.
Yeah.
Houses get attached to you, and they don't want strangers in there, So you got to let them know and make them part of the change and transition. That's what we believe. So we do that. We do that. We say, "Oh, thank you, house, for all you've done. Help me bring up the children, the work we've done. Now I no longer can be here. It's time for me to move on." So with gratitude and loving energy, we ask for you to call on your new owner, someone that would love you and cherish you and be able to grow, and you be able to provide what you provided for us, And then, that's what we do.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Some of those people, have you ever heard of the people that bury the, is it St. Michael's statue or somebody's saint, one of the saints?
St. Anthony. St. Christopher. St. Christopher. And they put him upside down. Yeah.
All of these things, though, is setting your intent. And it's my belief, and always has been my belief, that, while it's good to, take actions also, because any life coach will say to you, okay, now that you've manifested and thought it to death, and if it's not coming to you easily, start taking steps towards achieving it.
Yeah.
But setting your intent, is also like burying a St. Christopher's, statue, in my opinion, on a thing like that, right? And when you pray, when you give gratefulness to your house in the way that you have, again, you're setting your intent, and you're doing. It's like a couple of years ago at New Year's Eve, I had an epiphany, And it was that all of these other previous years, I would always be like, good riddance, thank God the next year is coming, and good riddance to that. And I started to think, I wonder what will happen if I say goodbye to this past year with respect and gratitude, and even if it wasn't a great year, there's been things that have been learned and accomplished along the way. And so I wonder if I pack it away neatly with love and respect and gratitude, if that would be different than get the hell out, thank God, good riddance, I never want to see that again, and like all of this kind of thing. And so is to be grateful for where we have, even the hard things we've been through, and with a different mindset. You know what I mean? Now, I can't say that anything wonderful has happened as a result, but I can say what might have happened had I not done it either. You know what I mean? And so, and at the same time, I always feel better about it. You know what I mean? When I'm like taking those moments to say goodbye to that year in a kinder, gentler way than I had previously, I feel better. And so even if that's all that's been accomplished, that's a great thing.
Plus, it also gives you gratitude for yourself to recognize what you've achieved during that year. That the year hasn't gone by the wayside. You say, wow, I have achieved a lot. I've met new people, or I've made new connections. I've got a new guest on the show this year, or whatever it may be. It's just you recognize with appreciation what actually has taken place and what you're able to achieve. I remember on my 25th birthday, that's when I started doing radio. I was up in Port Hedland, which is a town north of Western Australia, and there was a good friend of mine. His name is Nigel Weston. He used to have the breakfast show in Port Hedland, and he says to me, "What do you want for your birthday, Selva?" I said, "I want your radio show. I want to talk about my hocus pocus on air, you know." And he said, "Okay, then be there tomorrow morning."
Yeah.
And that's how I started. It was amazing. It was so good to talk, and he couldn't believe the amount of callers and that he had. I mean, that's 1975, which in Australia, it was still a little bit taboo about it, and it was just so good just to be able to do that. But I wanted that. I put that forward so much, that I really wanted to find a way to do it. I really wanted to find a way to get myself out there. So when he asked me, "What do you want for your birthday?" I took that chance. I said, "I'll be cheeky." I said, "I want your breakfast show," and it happened. But the timing was perfect, But I put that intent for weeks prior to that to attract that. So, dismiss.
Yeah.
So to put that, and we can do that. We can attract what we need, but we also need to be grateful for once we experience what we attracted in a sense. I believe that we always are at the right place at the right time, and every person we meet, even if it's for 5 seconds or 5 years or 20 years, we met that person for a reason. Everybody crosses our path, or it's animal or person or whatever. Everything crosses our path to learn and grow.
Yeah.
So there's something good in everything. At the darkest hour, there's something good.
Yeah.
I've got a sign on my window. That says actually, look for the cracks in the darkness. That's me. Always look for the cracks. The light's going to shine through. Okay.
Awesome. That's good. All right. Well, so thank you very much, and we will see you in a week, either day, whichever one you let me know. And if a couple
it will have to be Thursday again.
Okay. If a couple of you guys want to hang out just for a couple minutes, Thursday for Selva, I will just stop the recording now. Thanks everybody for listening, and archive people, especially you. Thank you very much. We'll be back. Sunday night with the world's only heaventologist, Amy Kavanagh, and so now my computer's frozen up again on me. Unbelievable. Having lots of trouble with the computer. So I'm going to stop the recording. I can't. Hang on. I'm going to have to refresh. Oh my God. Oh, I just did an update yesterday again, and so I don't know if this is causing all of my problems or what the heck is going on. But every time I get into a different window, my browser here freezes on me. So the whole browser. Okay, now I'm going to stop the recording. Thank you very much.